Hello and welcome back. Today's video is going to be all about my fall TBR. I'm going to give you answers because if you've been here for a while, you know that I made a very ambitious fall TBR. And if you know me, I am a huge mood reader. So did I actually read the 20 books that I said that I was going to read? We're about to find out. My fall TBR was very ambitious. Too ambitious. I know very well that I am not a TBR kind of person. I know that I am a mood reader, and especially I know that I am not someone who reads a lot of books. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm not always capable of reading a lot of books in a single month. I tend to read a lot if I'm able to go through audiobooks really quickly. But lately my brain has been refusing to focus on audiobooks, which has put me in a place where I need to actually read the physical or the ebooks, and that takes forever. I can only go through books really quickly if I'm listening to audiobooks. So, needless to say that my fall TBR was a huge challenge for me. And honestly, even though I knew I wasn't gonna finish it, I feel like I read way less than what I wanted to read. So I'm going to start by showing you the books that I DNF'd, because I did in fact DNF a lot of books. I feel like when I was approaching my fall TBR, I wanted to make sure that I actually read things through. So the books that were not clicking with me, I just decided to move on from them because I wanted to make sure that if there were books that I could actually get into really quickly and that I could finish, then it would make more sense to do that rather than trying to push through a book that is not really something that I'm feeling. I DNF'd a total of 4 books, if I'm not mistaken, and I have them right here. The first book that I DNF'd is not a surprise because this book has been on my TBR since 2021. Since the very first big purchase that I made, when I decided that I was going to take reading more seriously and it would not be a temporary thing or a sporadic thing, but I would actually really make reading my hobby, I bought this book. I've tried, and I don't know why I cannot get through it. Why is it so difficult? It's not a bad book. I feel like every time I've tried to grab this book, it's been the wrong time. So I tried going for the audiobook because I wanted to get through it really quickly, and it did not help. I still need to try and read it as a physical book, but honestly, I don't even know what to think about it anymore. I don't know if I'm going to actually enjoy it or not. Maybe this book is just not meant for me, and I have to accept that, but I refuse to give up on it because it was one of the first books that I bought. So we'll see if I eventually get through it, but for now, it is a soft DNF. The next book that I DNF'd, and I'm actually kind of mad about this one. It's One of Us is Back by Karen McManus. And it upsets me because I have pretty much read every single book that she has written. Like, every one of these except, I think, Nothing More to Tell, I've read. And I've really enjoyed. So I don't know why I haven't been able to get through this one. Again, I tried it as an audiobook, so maybe I was just not feeling the audiobook at the moment. But I'm obviously going to give this another try, and I'm obviously going to give it a try as a physical book to see if it changes anything. But at least as an audiobook, I was not able to get through it, so I had to soft DNF it. Next is The Lost Apothecary. I don't know, again, why I DNF'd this. Again, I tried the audiobook and that did not work, so I think it was more about me not being in a good place to be listening to books. But you'll see how that's going to be contradicting with the books that I actually did finish. Because, like I said, I was trying to get through as many books as possible, so I figured, okay, let me just go for it as audiobooks. That way I can read more faster. So I don't think I got very far in the audiobook for this one, but I don't think it's a bad book, so I'm probably gonna give it another try at another point. Probably also I did a very ambitious TBR while I was not in the mood for those books, because I did read a lot of books, or not as much as I typically would have liked to read, but I did read quite a few books, just not books from the TBR, which is the most upsetting part. I was just not in the mood to be reading thrillers, I guess. But I did finish a couple from the TBR, so at least that's something. But anyway, last book that I DNF'd was The Winds Are Not. I have no words for it. I was just bored. That one I don't know if I'll pick up again. It was probably not a book that was meant for me. So I might just give that one away or something, or put it in a little free library or something. But I did not feel like that was a book that I would be interested in. I don't know, maybe I'll change my mind, but for now it's a soft DNF. Now, the books that I actually read. So I had 20 books in that list. I finished 4 from the TBR, I think. I don't remember, because there was one book that I'm not entirely sure if I did add it to that list, but it was by one of the authors that I read 2 books from the TBR. So I'm going to mention it, but I'm not entirely sure if it's in the list or not. I don't think it is, because I found it after I had recorded the video. So let's say it was the 21st book. If it was 20 that I had, I don't even remember. But anyway, the books that I actually finished. I, of course, obviously finished Never Lie by Frida McFadden, and I made a whole video on this book, so I'm not gonna talk about it here much because, well, there's a whole other video that you can go watch, so go watch that after this video, because it was good. It was a really, really, really good book, and obviously I want to share with you my thoughts on that. The next book I did finish, and this was torture, was Damien, and I don't know why I put myself through this. This is a very, very short read, and I could not get through it as a physical book, so I had to read it as an audiobook. And honestly, if you ask me what happened in this book, I can probably tell you about a couple of scenes, but I have no idea what happened. I just don't think that this is not a book for me. I don't know what that says about me, because as far as I know, I think this book is supposed to be like a classic or something, and I was bored out of my mind. So I don't know why I did this to myself, but I did finish it. I gave it 1 star, and it was because it went completely over my head, so it might be a me problem. But yeah, Damien. I don't recommend you putting yourself through that torture. Now, the author that I read 3 books by, but that I did not probably add the 3 to the video, was Jessica Goodman. I read They'll Never Catch Us, and I also read The Counselors, and I read They Wish They Were Us. I don't think I put They Wish They Were Us on the video. So these were the ones that were officially on the TBR. And all 3 of them are your typical high school / college kid murder mystery, you know? I think I like The Counselor the best out of all of them, because it's in a summer camp, and it's like a semi-second chance romance kind of situation, even though there is, you know, situations happening there. But I think I liked them more because of the romance aspect and the murder mystery aspect. I don't even remember what the murder mystery aspect of the book was, I'll be so honest. They'll Never Catch Us, I do remember some of it. 2 sisters that were on a track team, and there was this whole competition between pretty much everyone. People wanted to be the best. They wanted to get drafted into like college track and whatever. I don't know if that's the term that you use, but they wanted to get noticed by scouts and whatever. Someone from the team gets unalived, and you know, the rest is history. So I am not going to give you spoilers, obviously, but it was a good book. These were all good books. They Wish They Were Us, I don't even remember what it was about. I do remember that I did enjoy it. I rated all of these like 4 stars, I think, 4 or 5 stars. So, you know, they're not mind-blowing murder mysteries. They're just your normal YA murder mysteries, but they were nice, easy reads. And all 3 of these I did read as audiobooks, and I was able to get through them, which is crazy because I couldn't get through the other ones. So, I don't know. I guess my brain just wanted these and not the other ones. Anyway, so that makes it a total of 4 from the TBR that I finished, 5 that I DNF'd, and then 1 more book, which is Ninth House. That was also on the TBR, and that one I'm actually still trying to get through. I'm doing a tandem between the physical book and the audiobook, and it's going. You know, it's definitely more on the more difficult side for me to read. I guess I'm not necessarily super in the mood for it, so I'm just kind of pushing through it. It's not a bad book, it's just I'm not in that mental space right now, so I don't know if I should soft DNF and then come back to it, or if I should just go through it and read it, because I'm like, I want to say like 20% through the book, so I'm not really that deep into it. But I would hate to restart it because it would be what, my third time starting the book. So I don't know if I want to do that. But I'm going slowly. I'm being patient with myself. I'm trying to not be too intense about it. So we'll see if I finish it or not before the year ends. I hope I do. But for now, those are all the books that I managed to look at from my TBR. The rest that were on the list, I didn't even look at. They're on a pile on the floor, and like I need to put them back on the bookshelf and all that, because I just did not even touch them. One, I didn't have the time because there was a lot going on. And two, I feel like they weren't really high priorities for me. They are there, existing in my floor. But anyway, if you haven't watched my full TBR video, go back and check that one out, because you'll see how much I failed in reading it, and maybe you'll get some ideas on what books you could be reading if you're in that mood for murder mysteries and thrillers and that kind of stuff. I will be making a separate video to talk about all the books that I actually read between October and November, because I did not do an October wrap up. So I will be talking about those, because I did read a lot of other books. I just didn't read the ones in my full TBR. So next video I will talk about all of those other ones, and you'll see that I was more in that mood than this whole thriller situation. But with that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.